Hello and welcome to the Astroflower Aura readings. Just to sort of go through basically what we do on these readings. I'm an energy healer. I've been an energy healer for sort of 30 years. I've seen over 20,000 people and I see energy fields around everything. And I've been seeing them for a very long time, so 30 odd years. It's been the main course of my study basically throughout my life. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking at the effects of what the earth energy, the vibration, or the universal vibration if you like, and how it affects each individual sign within your chakras and your aura. And this will give you a heads up on your weekly readings, your monthly readings, and etc. This is not a personal sort of thing, so I can read people's chakras and auras at distance, it's not a problem, but this is obviously a general video, and this is where we're just going to be going into general sort of connections that different signs have, because different signs work on different types of energy. And that's to do with the element system which we can find within the Astroflower. So so what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the chakras, and I'm going to pick out the ones that are affecting you as your sign the most, and see if there's anything that we can pick up in the aura as well. And just to sort of differentiate, the chakras are like the electrical cables of your energy that's going pulsating through your body, like it's energy lines or ley lines that pulsate through the vibration of the earth. We get the same thing on all the planets as much as we do on the solar system, the sun as well. So that's like the cables, the electrical cables where the current is really going through it. And that electrical cables create a magnetic field, which we would call your aura. We can also say the magnetic field of the earth and the magnetic field of the sun and other planets, and etc. So there is a difference between the two. And auras are a lot slower than the chakras. Chakras are a lot faster. I'll be honest with you, I can't see chakras per se. I can see what effect it's having on the magnetic field, a little bit like a boat that goes through water, and the boat is long gone, but you can see the wake from the boat afterwards. So I see the knock-on effect of the chakras rather than the actual chakras itself. Be interesting to see them in the future. Maybe if the vibration of the earth picks up even more, things may well be possible in that sort of sense. So it's just a sort of difference between the two. The aura is a lot slower. It takes a lot more to change auras. Chakras change a lot quicker. And that is what I would call the harmonics, or the harmony, or the vibration of your energy. The chakras would be more of a case of like the watts, or the energy, the watts or the kilowatts or the volts that are flying through that chakra at any given point. I will say one other thing on energy before we start. You can never have less than 100% of energy. You're never missing it. You've never got too much. It's just the way in which you position your energy or distribute your energy through your body, which can give you the sensation that you're missing energy, and other times when you have excess amount of energies. So without further ado, let's just bring up our Astroflower man. There we go. Lovely. Okay, and we're just going to get into those readings. Cancer, how you doing? Welcome to your aura and chakras reading here on the Astroflower. So Cancer, let's get on with your reading of your aura and your chakras here. Let's just see what we get from the overall energy. There is a lot going on with you at the moment, Cancer. I think this has to do with the fact that things kicked off in your life simply because you went through your birthday period and things started playing into your favour. But with the retrograde planets that are here at the moment, it demands a moment of retrospection, and it's almost as if like sort of kind of like, why is it all stopped? And it's making you question a lot. It's making you question a lot on lots of different areas. So I would be a little bit wary of that, simply because you risk to sort of take yourself completely apart and not be able to put yourself back together again. So I'd just be a little bit wary of that. There is a major mulling over about what or where you want to be going in life, or what you want to be putting your energy into, where you put your determination, where you put your courage and your confidence. That's what seems to be the major thing that's sort of going on there. But it is like it goes up, comes in, and then there's this sort of section around here where it's really mulling things over, and as it goes up again, it comes back out and around about the third eye, and then sort of comes up around. So there's a lot of definition going on there. There's a lot of conversation within yourself at the moment. And as I said, I'd just be a little bit wary of that, because you don't want to take yourself apart too much, because you might find it difficult putting yourself back together again. But it is a good thing to do. It is a good thing to filter all of the things through your life and to see what's working and what's not working. Let's just get on to see what's going on with the chakras. Here's on the root chakra here. It's reasonably quite big. What I'm getting off it is kind of going, I'm not moving, I'm not budging. This is how it's going to be. It's like a crab that's holding onto the rock as the waves come in, as the tide rises, and the crab is sort of saying, I am not leaving this spot. I am staying here. Sort of scenario. Just be wary of that, because it may end up, imprisoning you in a situation which may become more and more difficult to change over time. So I'd just be a little bit wary of that. With your sacrum, it's not that big actually. It's quite small. I think you're looking at the larger picture here. This is where I think it's sort of like, as I said, sort of like taking things apart. I think you're looking at the larger picture here, and I think it's not just a case of looking at the everyday life. I think you're looking at longer term plans here, because your sacrum's not massive, and your sacrum's all to do with your fundamental desires. So fundamental desire is, I am hungry. Your heart's desires is, I would like a tomato and feta cheese sort of salad. So you're nourishing that fundamental desire, but you're also nourishing that heart's desire of what you want to taste in your mouth. And so I'm not really sure you're looking at the fundamentals, the everyday functioning of life. I think you're looking at some things that are a lot bigger within your life as well. The bigger picture I think you're getting. And this then sort of comes into mulling things over. Your solar plexus is very tight. You have a determination probably on 2 or 3 things, rather than having a global determination here. You're getting really defined about where you put your fire energy, your force that is within you, your desire, not necessarily your desire, your courage, your determination. And it seems to be very focused at the moment. There seems to be certain things within your life that you really want to focus on, and that is good. Especially in this moment of retroflexion, with all those retrograde planets. Oh, I just kicked the table. Sorry about that. With the retrograde planets, and you're taking a lot of fluff out of the situation and concentrating on the fruits that are there. So it's a determination that tends to be very. It's a solar plexus that's, as I say, it's very tight. Normally a solar plexus is quite large, but here it's really quite tight, and it's giving you a singular focus for your energies basically at the moment. What's going on in your hearts? Now this is what's coming out. It's really giving you a direction. Your heart is, normally it's like a disc that sits there like that. That's the top and that's the bottom of the chakra, and they sit and they entwine, but they're like that. So that's the heart chakra, looks a little bit like that, a little bit. You know, as much as I can demonstrate it with my hands. And what it's doing is actually giving it a real point, a real direction. And I think this is almost as like within you, and this is where the mulling comes over within your aura. I think you've got a real clear vision about what works for you, what makes your heart tick, basically. I think it's really good. It does help you out enormously, and helps you to progress forward, because it gives you that focal point, and that focal point also then allows your solar plex energy to actually then latch on to something, that focal point. So I wouldn't diverse yourself a lot within your world at the moment. I would concentrate on the fundamental things, but the longer term plan things, to say like, and this could be like to do with your job, your business, marriage, having children, anything that's sort of tied into longer term plans. I would really concentrate on that and really put your heart's desires first, and then you can put your energy in order to get your heart's desires. That seems to be a really good way. Let's see what's going on in your third eye and your throat chakra. There's a lot going on up there. You know, if you've ever seen a crab, you know, the crab with their two pincers like that, and they kind of making a lot of bubbles. That's what you seem to be doing in your brain at the moment. There seems to be a lot of sort of like trying to see, use your intuition to see really far into the future. I think that's a good idea. Just understand that, say like if I'm crossing the Atlantic and I change by 1 degree, by the time I get across the Atlantic, I'm going to be miles away to where I initially thought I was going. So you need to be conscious of that. And you need to be conscious that our intuition or our vision, our inner visions, can be affected over time by the outside world. So be very conscious of that. If you're conscious of that, you can then be ready and flexible enough to adjust for the changing aspects of the world that is around you. Let's just see what's going on with your crown chakra. See, it's going in counterbalance to the rest of the energy here. And this is what could cause you a problem. You're taking on a lot of different things. It's very large, the crown chakra at the moment. It's not very tall, but it's large. So you actually, if you imagine it's like a cup, and it filters the raindrops, whether the raindrops fall into the cup or fall out of the cup. You know, and basically the wider the cup, obviously the more raindrops you're going to collect. So you're collecting a lot of information here, which could be very distracting to that inner vision and that heart's desires and that solar plexus, which is going in one way. And I would just be a little bit wary of that, basically, of just trying to do things in your life. So let's say you wanted to change your job, but you at the same time you wanted to stay within your job and make sure everyone's all right. You can't do both. And there's a little contradiction in terms here that sort of seems to be happening. So I would be a little bit wary of that as you're going forward in your life. Let's just see if we can pick anything else up off this. The main thing that comes out of the aura, which is it's got good energy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of reflection. There's this fold of energy. It's not like a point of energy. It's a fold of energy, and that's where the mulling comes over, because it creates a vortex within your aura. So that brings that energy back in, sends it back through the system. You reflect again about it, and then it comes back round, gets brought back in. You know, a distilling process of your energy and your ideas. But there is another thing that's going on, which I haven't seen on any other sign at the moment, is a factor of, and I think this is where the crown chakra plays in, and I think this is what gives it the comprehension now to the crown chakra, is that it's a heavy influence by the outside world. You have this inner vision, and I would stick to that, and I would just be wary about Too many cooks spoiling the broth, as we would say. So I would just be wary about how people or situations around you demand upon your energy. And let's say like you've got a particular friend, they're a lovely friend and you love them dearly and they love you, but you know, they're constantly kind of going, what about this? What are you going to do about this? And it's just like kind of going, maybe you should do this. And you hadn't thought of that and it didn't come from you. And now you're going to start doing something that you didn't think about and it didn't come from you. So I would just be, you know, listen, yes, that's the best thing to do, which is good side of your crown chakra. But I would just be wary of just being too influenced by certain situations and people around you, basically. Okay, so there you go, Aries. Aries. Why do I call you Aries? I do this all the time to Cancer, don't I? I call you other signs. I don't know what that's all about. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, Cancer, yes, there you go. I hope you got the best out of this reading. I did the energy update on Cymatic TV, which is my sister channel. It's all about energy. Make sure you get over there, get onto that channel, and you will be able to sort of see the inner workings of the universal vibration and how it affects us, how it affects the ley line that goes around the world, and how it affects the universal energies basically as they're sort of reproduced through the earth and then reproduced through us as well. That channel is linked in the description below. It's also going to be about my head at the end of this channel. Go over there and have a look at that. I will see you there for this weekend for your weekly readings. It'd be beautiful to see you there. In the meantime, all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for your support that you give to this channel in whichever way you see fit. And also, yeah, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.